Hi, it's Joe. I am still a fat black belt. You know what? It occurred to me that I've done this whole thing so far and not actually shown you my black belt to prove that I'm a black belt. There's my black belt. It's got my name on it. It's got cool Korean characters on it. It's got a bunch of little silk stripies on it from my midterm. And yeah, there we are. So, I'm going to talk first about how today went. Pretty good. As far as food went, I did some sort of like eggs and toast for the family. I didn't really want toast. I did cabbage for myself. Actually, I did cabbage and sauerkraut and kimchi, so like a smorgasbord of cruciferous vegetables, half of which have been fermented, and then I threw some eggs on the side, and that was actually really good. Maybe a little more, I don't know, zesty than most people tend to take their breakfast, but I'm perfectly happy with fermented vegetables for breakfast. So there you go. After that was some exercise. I'm going to get into that later. Dinner, the kids wanted Raising Cane's, so I got chicken tenders. One of them was just, a couple of them were just shockingly small. I'm like, man, Cane's, you got one job. After which I thought, well, if I'm going to eat crap after exercising, because the kids wanted it, then that's it, right? Then I'm done. That's the last crappy thing I'm eating today. It may be the last thing I'm eating today, and it was. We came home, we played some D&D, family D&D. It was really good. I may do like, a couple of peanuts or a Yasso bar or something tonight, but I'm not eating anything else of substance because, Cane's is quite a lot. The general philosophy that I have on food is like, it's like a never two in a row thing, right? That's the nerd fitness philosophy. I have been a part of the nerd fitness community for a really long time, like since almost the beginning, since there were forums and, forum-based challenges and stuff like that, since the very early days of nerd fitness. And that's a great community. Like if you're a nerd and you're looking for a community and you're like, man, I just want to get fit, they're awesome. Totally recommend. I did a bunch of personal training by way of Nerd Fitness. I did their online personal training for years and I really support it. It's just that, I stopped doing it about a year and a half ago because I realized, everything's about to get terribly expensive and I need to cut somewhere. And it seemed like cutting a couple $100 on personal training every month for what is essentially stuff that I already know I'm supposed to be doing, probably a good bet. So I did. Fully recommend my trainer. He's amazing. But it just, it wasn't something that I could justify the cost of anymore. So here I am. Vlogging my food and exercise as a way of maintaining accountability without having to send it off to somebody in Texas. Anyway, that was food for today. Let's talk exercise. The plan was to take the kids to the pool. There was about 2 hours until the pool closed, and I really wanted to do some Taekwondo forms today. I really wanted to get that knocked out. And I thought, well, I got to do it during that time. And initially I thought I'll stay home and do it. My wife can take the kids to the pool. But I was convinced to go, mostly so that I could drive them. And also, it is a gym, for crying out loud. Or rather, it's a fitness center. We're going to get to that in a second. So I go there and I start looking around for a place to do forms. And I got to tell you, fam, there's nothing. There's a track upstairs, but I can't do forms on a track. There's people walking on it. There's a tiny little sort of like empty calisthenics space where you can do like band work and, Bosu ball nonsense or whatever you want to do. And of course, it's always occupied by the two weirdos in the gym who aren't me. I'm the other weirdo in the gym. So I didn't have a chance to do that. And I thought, well, I guess I'll just go outside and do forms. There's a gym outside, not a gym. There's a playground outside for the kids that's got one of those squishy sort of grounds, like the repurposed rubber. And so I went outside to do some forms there. That's great until, kids show up, because they don't show up alone. They show up with their parents or their grandparents. And then you have to do the whole song and dance of like them staring at you for two forms while they try to figure out what you're doing and whether you're a predator. And then they're like, hey, what are you doing? And you say Taekwondo, and they're like, I know what those words are. And so then they like you, and then they go away and they're replaced by another group of parents and kids, and the whole dance starts all over again. And basically what that means is I got through Palge forms and Taeguk forms, and then I went inside because I was hot. It was like 95 degrees out. I was dripping sweat. So I walk all the way around the gym and go back inside, and I'm like, all right, I'm going to find a place. I'm going to find a place to do this inside. It's too hot outside. I didn't find a place. I did find a friend of mine walking around the track on a phone with her mother. So I talked to her mother for a minute, and then I went back outside and I did other forms. I did choreo and taebek and kumkang. And so I worked on those for a while. And then eventually I went inside and sort of dipped my feet in the water just to cool off. And then we bounced out of that place. Weight today is back down to 320, which is where it was before it went up after the Anya Jenkins birthday party. And so that's good. That feels good. There is one other thing I wanted to talk about. We're at 6 minutes here, but I think I can do this. My daughter hates the name of this channel because she says, well, you're not supposed to call people fat. And I'm like, kiddo, why? Right? Now, I don't want you to think that I'm a bag of dicks. I don't go walking through the mall telling people they're fat. But here's the thing about this, and I really want to stress this because it's my word, I'm using it. Fat is not an insult, my dudes. It is just the opposite of skinny, which I very clearly am that, right? I am a big guy. I'm fat. It is my hope to someday not be, but I kind of think I'll always be at least a little chubby, right? Like, that's just sort of not only my predisposition, but like, I'm not young. My skin is not super elastic, right? There's not a lot of Lizzo under here. So my transformation will probably be slightly more mellow than that one. You know what I'm talking about? But unless you are using the word fat as an insult, unless you are using it in a disparaging way, I don't think it's an insult. I think it's just a statement of fact. It isn't a fact that you should go spouting off to people in public. There are a great many facts that I don't go spouting off to people in public. I don't walk up to random people in public and be like, your nose is huge, your ears are saggy, what's going on with your one eye that's doing the thing where it drifts all over the place? I don't do that. That's rude. And very similarly, yeah, don't walk up to people in public and be like, you're fat. Also, I'm going to throw this out there. That's not a judgment call. It's just a fact of it's a statement of fact, right? It's not a judgment call. Calling me fat is true. Telling me that I'm a piece of shit because I'm fat, right? Telling me that I'm lazy because I'm fat. Telling me that I don't know what I'm talking about because I'm fat. These are all bullshit claims, right? And in fact, I think telling someone that they're unhealthy because they're fat is also kind of bullshit. Health is so relative, and you know nothing about what's going on inside their body. Obviously, all things being equal, less weight to a degree is better than more weight. A healthy weight is obviously better than being obese. It's obviously healthier in the long run. But like, health is such a fucking roller coaster that the fact of the matter is you don't know. So, you know, as long as you're keeping those things out of your mouth, I think it's fine. I think it's a fine word. And it's especially a fine word for me to use to describe myself. And if it helps motivate me, I'm going to keep using it. And for now, it does. And if I change the name of the channel to like, I don't know, slightly chunky black belt, well, then you'll know it got to me. But I don't think it's gonna. That's all. Talk to you later.